So again, welcome everybody. I'm Keira Sorrells. I'm the founder and executive director of the NICU Parent Network, and we are here today to share why we think NPN is a great opportunity to expand your reach, deepen your impact, and really grow your professional community in this space. Quick background on me. I am the mom of triplets that were born at 25 weeks, 5 days. One of my daughters spent 9.5 months in the NICU, and unfortunately, after 4 months at home, passed away very suddenly and unexpectedly, which, of course, between that and the NICU journey with my other two as well, just launched me into advocacy work, as so many of us here in this space, we come to this because of a very personal experience, and that was certainly the case for me. One of the things that I really began to recognize was that the family voice just didn't seem to be very present in neonatal and perinatal health care. So we launched NICU Parent Network all the way back in 2010. We started with a core group of six NICU parents who had had that NICU experience or a bereaved experience and had started a community-based organization or an advocacy organization, or they were a book author, as a way to provide support for families who are going through that experience now. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we are the only US-based mission-focused professional organization for NICU parent leaders who collectively support and represent the needs and best interests of NICU families. Together, we envision a world where all NICU families are essential and integral members of the care team. Our strategic goals are covered in 5 areas: inclusion and diversity, community engagement, advocacy and policy, financial performance, and professional development. In everything that we do, we want to make sure that our beliefs and our values of our organization, leadership, and membership are reflected. And those core values are authenticity, diversity and inclusion, sustainability, integrity, and being collaborative. So again, just to kind of jump back just a little bit to why we came together in the first place. So this core group of NICU parent leaders recognized that there was that lack of NICU and bereaved parent voice representation when it came to policy, care guidelines, education materials that were being developed both for families and for clinician teams that would then be teaching families. And we also recognized a lack of representation in areas of research in perinatal and neonatal health. We also noticed that we were all kind of working in our own silos. Now, I will say, way back in 2010, that was really kind of when Facebook just started to kick off. So we certainly were not in the social media era that we are today. So it was much easier to work in silos, and we really had to work hard to connect. But we really felt like, our organizations could be doing more, a lot better, if we had a community to be able to learn from, to connect with, a trusted network where if one organization couldn't provide a certain service, or they just weren't the right fit for a family that needed help, that they had that trusted network to be able to refer to. And so that's how we launched all the way back in 2010. We call ourselves NICU parent leaders. And we say that because this is a profession. This is not something that we do as a hobby. For a lot of us, this is our full-time job. For some, it is volunteer work in addition to a full-time or a part-time job, but it's not something that you can go to school to get a degree in NICU parent leadership. We come to this again by way of our own traumatic experiences with the most precious people in our lives, our children, and we want to make the world a better place. And one of the things that we see that NICU families are searching for is that sense of community and connection. They want to know that they're not alone. And we actually find the same thing with our NICU parent leaders because it can be very hard work. It is very hard work to do this kind of work out in the world, where we do not have those credentials at the end of our names like MD or RN. We almost have to prove our credibility that we aren't just parents, right? Or we aren't just caregivers. So that is, why we really wanted to build this network, to build that sense of community, to build that sense of connection, that you are in this space and you aren't having to chip away at the mountain all by yourself. So today we have 43 member organizations. And I say organizations as a blanket term, about 2/3 of them are 501c3 organizations. The rest are authors or small businesses. They're all run by former NICU and bereaved parents. And they are all providing support by their own unique way for families. Some are based in the hospital doing bedside support day after day after day. Some are out in the community with support organizations and get-togethers out in the community, or have virtual counseling services, virtual peer mentor services. They're out there, talking to Congress, advocating on behalf of families and babies. There's just such a wide range of how our members are out there representing and supporting families. So we are across 23 states, and collectively, when you look at all of our member organizations and the families that they serve each year, our organizations are reaching over 100,000 NICU and bereaved families every single year, which is pretty amazing. So we have 6 different levels of, or 6 different membership types. The core of our membership is the top right category, the NICU support organization, which refers to any 501c3 organization, a small business, a published book author, or hospital-based support groups that are in hospital, kind of owned by the hospital. We also recognized a need to provide an opportunity for individual NICU parent leaders who, were out in this space, but maybe they didn't have an organization that they were specifically tied to. But we do want to make sure that they are, actively working in this space in quality improvement or research, or, holding some sort of leadership position within a hospital. On the other side of the screen, on the right side, we have our industry opportunities. So these are companies that have an interest in the neonatal and perinatal health space through products, pharmaceuticals, just a number of technology, a number of different ways that they're working with families and working towards improving health outcomes for families and babies. And then we have our professional affiliate circle. So if you don't fall in one of these parent organizations or leaders, you don't have a big company that can sponsor us, but you work in an area that supports and believes in the family as central to the NICU team. Some of these organizations that we have as professional affiliate circle members include the National Association of Neonatal Therapists, the National Network of NICU Psychologists. We've also got Infant Massage USA and the Human Milk Banking Association of North America. So that kind of gives you an idea. These are organizations that are very committed to healthy outcomes for babies and families. So some of the things that we do, as I said in the beginning, we really did not see that representation of the NICU parent voice. And so we wanted to put that into action. And we've done this in a number of different ways through publications and speaking opportunities. We've also developed staff education training modules because that's what we were seeing. We were seeing these really well-meaning, highly respected provider associations creating materials for parents about their baby or how to bond with their baby, how to support their baby. Discharge pathways that nurses would be teaching families, but they didn't have families helping them develop that material in the beginning. So how do they know if what they're doing is actually going to be effective and what the parents need? So we have edged our way into relationships with many of these organizations to make sure that we are a part of the process from the very beginning, from the development stage, not just let them create it and then let us review it at the end, but let's have that partnership from the very beginning. We have also worked on several policy areas, including paid family leave, which we are still working on. Now, rather than the federal level, we are working with various state agencies to go state by state to really advocate for the need for this for our families here in the U.S. because we have no mandated paid family leave in the U.S. and it's just absolutely critical that these families are able to be with their babies in the hospital. But when they can't afford to not be at work, that can't happen. So we really are, this is going to be a fight that we'll be in for a long time. We also, we advocate for family-centered care in the NICU. So that is where the family is seen as a central and core member of the baby's care team. One of the projects that we've worked on, and we're actually working on another update of this, is the NICU Babies Bill of Rights. And it is a set of rights that it's written as if it was the baby kind of speaking to their care team. It's a way to foster integration of the family into the baby's care daily. It also is a way to help educate the care team in the needs of the parents because, shockingly, medical schools and nursing schools do not teach NICU professionals about the psychosocial needs of the family and how to address those needs. So we're trying to help fill that gap after the fact. We've also written a position paper on the importance of peer-to-peer support for NICU families, and we're actually wrapping up our second position paper that we'll be publishing in a couple of months on I'm sorry, I just lost my words for a second, on the fact that parents are not visitors in the NICU and should not be deemed as such, and what that means in terms of how to actually integrate the family into the care day to day. One of the other things that we wanted to make sure that we provide for our members is opportunities to connect and a way for all people who are in this community and have a passion for these families and these babies, that you feel a sense of belonging when you are a part of NICU Parent Network. So we launched NICUnity earlier this year, and this is our way of kind of recognizing the platform that we have, the privilege that we have, and creating opportunities to shine the light on those groups that are often silenced, underrepresented, and underestimated. And so we have a series every month, NICUnity Leadership, NICUnity Belonging, and then 4 times a year, we do a NICUnity Health topic. These are a variety of open forum discussions. The Leadership Lounge in particular is just for NPN members, and these are really, really wonderful. Just monthly discussions with other NPN members. We always have a topic to kind of kick us off, but it's just a way for leaders to come together, kind of share things that they're struggling with, and all struggling with, but also share those things that have really worked well, and just to support one another. One of the things that we recognize is that there is no right way to do anything because there will be something in one area of the country that works really well, and something in another area of the country that just doesn't work at all. And so by learning together and creating that space for that open dialogue, we've been really happy with how successful those leadership lounges have been, and just the rich dialogue and connection that our members are getting as a result of participating in those. We also hold an annual in-person summit. This is our NPN Leadership Summit. The next one will be held in February of 2025. We are going to be holding a virtual NICU Unity Connect event in September. And this is an opportunity, there is no other conference just for NICU parent leaders. You can go to conferences for neonatal and perinatal health. You can go to conferences for, organizational and professional development, but this is the only one in the US that is specific to our audience. And I think it just makes, there is just something really special about when this group of passionate advocates comes together to learn and grow together. And I see Beth nodding her head, and I'll let her share some of her own personal experiences as a member, board member, committee member in just a little bit. Again, like I said, we want to make sure that we're working collaboratively, that we are sharing information, that we're finding ways to work together so that because the issues that the families face, they're too big for any one organization or one person to solve. It's just not going to happen. And so if you think that you are that one person that's going to do it all and do it well, we're probably not the organization for you, because we really do believe in a growth mindset. We believe in community, and we believe in sharing the spotlight. Again, just a quick, some of the professional affiliate circle organizations that we work with, and the ways that we work with them. We offer education to their members. They offer education to ours. Right now, NIDCAP Federation International, the NICU psychologists, and the neonatal therapists are co-authoring our current position paper with us. So it also gives us access to a pool of clinical experts in this space that are always happy to help in different ways. We also have collaborative relationships and hold positions on various steering committees for national and international coalitions. So that's NPN, but what's in it for you? That's what you want to know, right? So we have a couple of things. Membership exposure. So with that NICU support organization membership, this is where you are a book author, you are a small business owner, you are a hospital program, or you are a 501c3. The member exposure is part of your membership package, because we do provide some of that marketing where you become a part of our member directory. It is searchable by keyword and location. And then you also have an opportunity to share what you're doing via our monthly newsletter, the NPN Network News. Every month, we send you a reminder to let us know what you have going on so that we can share it, and we'll share it both in the newsletter. And then we also, whoops, my slides got out of order. We also share it on all of our social media channels as well. I'll skip back to the Speakers Bureau. We also have a Speakers Bureau. So this is just for our members, and you get your own kind of speaker profile page. You can see Gigi's profile down in the bottom right corner of the screen. In addition to the bio, there are also opportunities to include lists of publications that you have, any video or audio podcasts or trainings or clips that you've done, testimonials that you've done. And the way that our Speakers Bureau works, it works in one of two ways. Any conference planner can go onto the Speakers Bureau, look at our speakers, and connect with them directly if they want them to work with them at their event. Oftentimes, a conference planner will contact us and say, hey, this is our event, this is our audience, this is what we're looking for. And then we'll send out a call to all speakers in the Bureau and give those details. They then kind of apply for it based on their availability. And we share those mini applications with the conference planners so that they can choose who it is that they want to speak at their conference. We also will submit abstracts to national conferences across the country that usually include a parent panel. Sometimes, most of the times they get accepted. We've been to the NAN conference and A1 and NPA and the National Perinatal Social Workers. So it's always just a really wonderful experience. We always get great feedback on just how important it is to hear from those with lived experience. So some of the other things that you have access to as an NPN member, we co-developed the Caring for Babies and Families Providing Psychosocial Support in the NICU continuing education course with the National Perinatal Association. There's also one for perinatal workers, as well as advanced practitioners. So that would be your MDs and your neonatal nurse practitioners. You can take these courses for $10 versus the higher cost if you're going to get the actual continuing education credits. You will get a certificate of completion when you finish the course. These are interactive. They are chock full of resources and actionable tips and takeaways on how to provide psychosocial support in the NICU. Through our relationship with Caring Essentials Collaborative, they are the ones that develop the Trauma-Informed Professional certification. This is an excellent program. I recently completed it. I think I have one more masterclass I have to complete, and then I will be able to put that Trauma-Informed Professional designation in my signature, which is very exciting. But this certification is offered to NICU Parent Network members for 50% off. And then because of our relationship with Mama's Voices, you can also take the Patient Family Partner certification for free. So just by being a member, all you have to do is sign up, and you sign up with us as the coalition partner, and then they will double check your membership with us, and then you can take that certification for free. We also have business assistance through some of our own vendors that we use. Florida Virtual Bookkeepers, they are excellent and have a lot of experience in nonprofit bookkeeping. Opus is a digital design company. They do all of our graphics work, as well as our website design and maintenance and hosting. They also do some copywriting for us as well, and copy editing. Wise Advise is a business services company. We use them for administrative purposes, as we've also used them for grant research. They do anything from SEO to graphic design to event planning, PR and branding, booking, bookkeeping. They have a long list of services, and they're all virtual. And I've had just the best working experience with them over the last 2 years. You get assigned a project manager. And the reason that we went with them is when we were trying to figure out a job description for somebody to hire, it was like 10 different people that we needed to fill this position. And we obviously couldn't hire 10 different people, but I was introduced to WISE, and they, because of the way that they work, I have my one project manager and she manages the 10 different people to get the things done that I need to have done. So I don't have to do any of that management. I just have my weekly meeting with my project manager. And then they make things happen for me, which is amazing. But with WISE, our members get 20% off all of their services. I think with Opus and the Florida Virtual Bookkeeper, you got a free consultation and 5% off their services. And then Grant Station is a grant research and grant writing platform. It's a huge database of national, international, private foundations, public foundations, huge corporations. And they typically, to have a year subscription with them would be $699. But as an NPN member, you can get it for $99. And they've got all kinds of fundraising strategy, grant writing strategy, lots of webinars and tutorials. And it's just a really, really wonderful opportunity for our members. But most of all, I think what's really important here is that sense of building community, knowing that you're not in this work by yourself. One of our members, I think, said it very well here when she said, we aren't just parents. Apart from the NICU experience that unites us, we're educators, advocates, professionals, and caregivers who have meaningful and significant contributions to make to the advancement of neonatal care. And that is exactly what we're trying to elevate, is that we have much more than a sad story to tug at heartstrings, but we really can help make actionable change and improvement in neonatal and perinatal care. So that is the end of our presentation, but I do want to invite Beth to say a few words. Beth has been a member of NPN for several years. She serves as one of our board members, and she's also one of the co-chairs of our member and community engagement committee. And one of the things that I always kind of put Beth on the spot with is the very first time that we spoke was kind of early in the days of her organization, which is ICU Baby, based in Miami. And she's like, I just don't think we're quite ready to join. And then 2 years later, she came back and then said, wow, I wish I had joined 2 years ago. So Beth, if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about your experience as a member. And it's always nice to hear from the people that are in the actual membership.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm so glad that you invited me to join. Keira tells that story, and I also share that story a lot, which is, we were looking at a shoestring budget, and having anything that was over $20 just seemed like a lot to us because we wanted to get it to the families. And so that's why I was so, reluctant to join. And I'll tell you why I did in a second. But Keira, I have to say, watching that presentation, I mean, it was phenomenal. And we do so much. I really think it was just, we really did a great job of capturing all we do. And I guess what I'd love to share with you, I wrote down some notes as you were speaking, is I think the best thing for me, having joined NPN, has been what I wrote down as opportunity and access. So when I look back to when I was reluctant to join because I didn't want to spend $5 more, oh, thank you. Sorry. Sorry, guys, I'm casual today. But I have to tell you, it was a mistake because we ended up reinventing the wheel, and we ended up just kind of making some mistakes that were probably could have been avoided had I had the camaraderie and the connectivity of this group. So when I wrote down opportunity and access, which I think Keira just sums up that so much. I mean, I think opportunity is really the opportunity to be involved. And what I love about NPN is you can lean in as much as you want. And like anything else, it's what you put into it, you get out. And opportunity also means opportunity to sit on panels, opportunity to have a voice on the national stage, opportunity to learn what it means to have a voice on the state stage, opportunity to grow your organization. And that's really where we started, was on that last one, which is how do we grow our organization in a way we can help the most people? Because that was our North Star. On the access side, what I think is key, still key for me after doing this for 10 years, is I have access truly to the most brilliant minds in this space across our country. Meaning there's incredible organizations in Texas, New York, Florida, I mean, California, that are doing this work. When I tell you I had a question, this actually makes me emotional because I feel like we're all such good friends. I had a question yesterday for some of my colleagues, so I shot off 3 emails very quickly. Within 1 hour, they all wrote me back, and it was significant. It was, how do I start these contract negotiations with hospitals? And they saw my email and took what my questions so seriously. To have access to other folks that are doing the work that you're doing in your own geographic space, that it is truly invaluable. So that was just a little example from yesterday. And then also I wrote, these are my messy notes I was taking. So I'm like trying to figure out what I was writing there. But also what I wrote is this new, and I made this comment in the box, this new NICU Unity series that Keira's curated and so brilliantly put together with the team. What I will say is during the middle of the day, it's hard for me to get on to listen. They send them out because you're a member of these trainings. And so at night, after I'm tired, I walk around my neighborhood and listen to Nick Unity. And I learned so much. It's almost like a podcast for organizations or folks that are in the NICU space. And the ROI on those alone is incredible. And so I think, gosh, I know so much after doing this for 10 years. Little do I know, within 5 minutes of that fundraising call, I had stopped alongside the street to write down notes. So I guess that's how I would sum it up. And the other thing, and the final thing, is I also wrote community and connection. And just, leading anything in the nonprofit space, whether you're developing a product or you're running an organization, there can be very lonely days. And so again, to have this group with camaraderie and unity has been just so tremendous for me. And I know we're all juggling children, as I see you there,
Yes.
Latoya. Children
Yes.
also, they're always everywhere, but we're all there. We're all trying to do
Right.
this at midnight to help families. We're all very much there. So
Yeah,
anyways, I just love
absolutely.
NPN so much. Is there anything else I could talk about, Keira? Because I just, I
No,
just feel so strongly about it.
well, I would, if you would share too about ways that your membership has helped you connect with corporations. Some of our sponsors, we have the industry one-to-one, which is just for our members to connect one-on-one with industry. So, can you share a little bit about that? I know Prolacta and I believe Angel Eye and
Sure.
maybe some others have come through that way.
So this is so important because it's kind of there. Hi, hi. We're very family friendly around here. We love
Yes,
children.
usually my 4-year-old is crawling all over me.
Exactly.
I don't know where she is.
Show and tell is lovely. Um, so this is really critical. So through that industry one-on-one, I was able to secure some sponsorships for ICU Baby. That's always valuable. We always want to have money to drive our mission. But when I tell you, it is also what they've taught me in having those sponsorships. It's how they've taught me to speak with sponsors, other sponsors in addition to them, how they've connected me to other sponsors. So they say, you're doing great work, let me connect you here. Or how about you come to this event with us since one of your sponsors so you can meet more people. So it hasn't just been them writing me a check. It has been so much more comprehensive than that, because those folks that are participating in NPN as sponsors want to see our organizations thrive. So they
Yeah.
are invested not only from a monetary perspective, but also from really like an industry expert of how to get additional sponsors, which I think is
Right.
also very valuable.
Yeah. And we stick um very closely to those guiding principles when we invite companies into our space, because we're very picky in making sure that those intentions are truly in the parent's best interest. Yes, they're companies. Yes, they have a bottom line, but there's also a difference in working with a sales team and an advocacy team or a clinical education team. They're called different things in different companies. And so we're always very, very particular about who it is that's going to actually get the audience of our members. And we've heard from members, it's saved them so many emails and trying to find the right person to get to talk to. And then on the same side with our corporate sponsors, we've heard from them, you just saved me 6 months of going back and forth trying to set up one call. So we have definitely found that to be just really valuable for our members. And I just want to point out that we have two former preemies on this call. Lauren and Latoya are both former preemies. And I just think it's so amazing that you guys have taken that experience of you're not a former preemie. Somebody said they were a former preemie. No? Did I get that wrong? Oh, Sierra is the former preemie. Okay, I'm sorry, Sierra. So we have Sierra and Lauren who are former preemies and are now in this space trying to help other people. Sorry about that, Sierra and Latoya. Sorry. But I think that that's just so cool because that is a segment of the community that we've been missing. We've been fighting so long for that parent voice to be included and to be heard. And we've got to bring most of us started this when our preemies or our loss experience, were when the babies were young, right? I mean, my preemies are now 17 years old. And my loss was, 15 and a half years ago. And so we didn't really consider the preemie's voice, the NICU baby's voice, because we were still the voice for our children. But now, as our children are growing into young adults, we are realizing, okay, they have a voice and they have experiences that are important to include in the conversation. So I'm super excited to have Lauren on the call and Sierra, and I'm just so glad that you're interested in hopefully being a part of us. But I wanted to stop there. I know we've been talking for a long time. Thank you for sticking with us. Does anybody have any specific questions that we can answer for you, or anything you were wondering about that we didn't cover? Nope. Okay. Well, our application window is open now until August 15th. And because you all joined, I'm going to send you a coupon code that will give you $25 off that initial membership fee. If you've already applied and paid the membership fee, I will give you a $25 refund. So everybody gets that opportunity for that savings. We do have, like I said, the NIC Unity Connect coming up in September. That will be 2 days. The first day is our industry day. So that's where you're going to have NPN members will have an opportunity to meet one-on-one in a Zoom breakout room, just you and reps from a company. You'll have a 20-minute meeting. We'll come back, have a little break, then we push you into the next meeting. So right now we have confirmed for that Angel Eye Health, Prolacta, Chiesi, Sobi, Sage Therapeutics, and I believe Dr. Brown's Medical and Sanofi will also be joining. So we have that'll be September 18th, and then September 19th will be a content day. And so what we're going to do is we'll have a 20-minute presentation from a speaker, and then you will self-select a breakout room to go to for further discussion and kind of workshopping what we've learned and how we can translate that to the work that you're doing. So we'll have 3 sessions like that. It's going to be free for NPN members. And then for non-members, it'll be $50. And then, of course, as a member, you'll have lifetime access to recordings as well for free. Let's see. Yes, Gail.
Hi, I'm all the way from the UK here, so it's lovely
So
to
it's Lauren. Lauren's in the UK as well.
Might be able to tell from the accent. We are in industry, I suppose, in effect, because we create these books that Kate initially wrote, and we're sort of the bereavement end of the industry. I'm trying to work out how we fit. Would we fit as like an industry member or publisher member or author?
No, Yeah, you would be classified under the NICU support organization because that includes our book authors as well. We have several members that are their book authors about either their bed rest experience, their high risk pregnancy experience, their they've written children's books for children and siblings in the NICU. And so you would actually fall under that classification because Kate was the one that had the personal experience. Is that right?
That's right.
The
Yeah,
author.
she
Yeah.
the twin. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it wasn't Amy though, it was she had the twins full term, but one of them.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and that's the thing with the bereavement, the loss can occur anytime during pregnancy up to, over a year after. Like my loss occurred when my one of my triplets was 14 months old.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, you
Okay.
would definitely fit in
Member,
that category.
sorry,
Pardon me?
is that a different type of membership then?
No, it's the same. So you're a book author, but you're classified under a NICU support organization heading, because that heading includes anybody who is a community-based organization, a published book author, or a small business.
Lovely. Okay.
Mhm. And we would love to have you. We have I think one other organization called MEND, which is Mommies Enduring Neonatal Death, and they have they've been around for 25 years, I think, in the US, got chapters around the country, and provide that support to families who have a loss during pregnancy, stillbirth, or infant loss. So it would be great because we don't have a lot of representation in that area, and it's such an intertwined component of the NICU experience quite often.
Well, we have over 100 titles now, so I
Yeah,
know.
I
So,
looked at your website. It's pretty amazing. They personalize these lost books, and they're just so beautiful.
Wow.
and
I love it.
they're for the families as well, but they're a
Mhm.
because when Kate had her loss, she looked for books to share with the elder
Mhm.
siblings, and she wanted the twins' names in the book. That's
Mhm.
what she started doing, and she wrote Sam and Finn, and it
Yeah,
just absolutely went this one
I love
and
them.
for a family and put it on Facebook, and then this has all grown out of people saying we want one with, you know.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
our biggest market is America, believe it
Yeah.
or not. USA, we get massive amounts of interest. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
okay,
Well,
thank
I mean, I looked for the same thing when Zoe died, and her sisters, got to that age where they were, because Zoe, we had pictures of Zoe. She was almost a little over a year old when she died. And then they got to that age where they realized, okay, I have this sister, but she's not here anymore. And how do we talk about this? And there weren't a lot of options. Now, I
you.
now have a 4-year-old who was an unexpected but full-term pregnancy. And she is now asking those questions. So when I saw your book, I thought, I'm going to order one of those for Mia, for this, for the rainbow baby.
And then in the end, you can obviously insert the names. So that's just an
Yes,
example, obviously.
I
That
love
child
that.
is called insert name. It's just an example to show that you can.
Yeah, I love
We
that.
just really struggle to get the word out about them. It's strange because I don't know.
Mhm.
It's such a niche and unique product to try and you've got to be really careful promoting as well because it's such a sensitive, emotional topic that
Right.
we've been going for years with them, but trying to sort of
Mhm.
reach people is the most
Mhm.
part of the
Yeah,
process. Right now,
right.
so
Oh, I'm so
Keira,
glad that you're, yes.
there is some questions in the chat box. Before I read them
Okay.
to you, you can answer. I just want to say, Gail, I feel like this is the perfect audience because you're right. It is hard to promote, but we are such a, this is our, our work. Many of our work is supporting bereaved families, and we also are at a loss for resources and don't necessarily have the bandwidth to do the research here. We were just talking about this morning. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to have that, very specific market to talk to your about what you're doing. So I'm happy to learn about you. Frankly, I'm going to take down your information. But Keira, did you see the chat box, or shall I read the questions loud?
Yeah, if you want to read the question, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay, there's 3, so I'll start at the top. And I think I know the answers, but I don't want to get them wrong, so I'm going to defer to you.
Of course.
This is coming from Sierra. Do I have to have my business completely set up before I apply?
No. It depends on what the business is, and we might just need to have a phone call offline so I can understand more about kind of where you are in the process. And it may be that you start off as an individual NICU parent leader, and then when your business is fully set up, then we transition you over to the NICU support organization. The designations, the main difference between the two is that the NICU, the individual NICU parent leader does not come with any marketing, because as an individual advocate, you're not really marketing anything, or you don't have that you don't have that marketing need. But if you're in the process, we can start you off there, and then it's a really easy changeover once you're established and have, whether it's a 501c3 or your business license. We ask, if you are a small business or a consultant, that you provide us with a certificate of good standing from your Secretary of State. And that's just, we just want to make sure that the folks that are a part of our network really are committed to this work.
Perfect. I thought that was the answer, but you did much better than I am. So I did. So also, just to stick with Sierra's line of questions, and then I'll jump back up to Lauren. I see your question as well. She says, I'm interested in the CEU courses, and I think I can apply the credits to my Lamaze CEU. Would I be able to take the credited version of the courses versus the non-credited ones?
Yes, but the version that comes, it's the same course regardless. It's just the cost is different, because the cost that we incur to provide the credit through the processing company that we use, PACLAC, is a lot more than when we just have to, in our own admin work stream, create a certificate of completion.
Okay, good. That one I did not know. The next one is from Lauren. Are most of the industry sponsors NICU specific? Wondering if they're interested in speaking to an older preemie.
Yes, most of them are NICU specific right now. However, I will tell you that my fundraising and grant writing strategy advisor is working on us expanding outside of the NICU to create more opportunities, look at companies that aren't necessarily in the hospital. So right now, I would say yes. I mean, they're all NICU specific at this point, except for, I know, Lauren, you're very familiar with Chiesi, and they're interested in the long-term implications. I think we also have some of the companies are starting to look more into the discharge and the time period after the NICU, and where they have a space in supporting or developing products or therapies for families in that space. But Lauren, it would also be a great opportunity for us to kind of brainstorm, and also just have some conversations together with some of our industry partners, because like Beth said, we'll have conversations with them to get ideas from them. And a lot of these people who are in the industries, particularly the pharmaceutical side, like, they know so many other people and in all the other different pharmaceutical companies. So yeah, I think that there's an opportunity for us to explore together if you're open to it.
I would just also add to that some of the industry partners, while NICU specific, have also led me to, like you were saying, have led me personally to other avenues of support, people, opportunities. So it's been great to see that. Like I said, it's not just the dollar donation, it's been a lot more that surrounds that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great questions. Any other questions from anybody? No? Well, I hope that you will, if you haven't already, that you'll submit your application. You have my email, or if you don't, you can email admin@NICUparentnetwork.org, and they will get you to me. And I'm happy to answer any questions that may pop up between now and then. What the next step will be after we get your application is, if I haven't already had a conversation with you, or someone from our member engagement team hasn't already had a conversation with you, then they'll set up a chat just to make, to see where you are in your work, what you're looking for, just to get a sense of how we might be able to be best supportive of you and your work. And I just will say that one thing that Beth said, it really is about, like with anything, what you put into it is what you get out of it. And some people, they just want to be able to come to the summit and they get the discounted ticket and they're happy, and we see them once a year and we're happy they're there, and they move on. And then others, they want to be in the trenches with us, writing position papers and co-authoring, articles for journal publication. So it's really, whatever you have the bandwidth for, whatever you have the desire for, we just want to be there to let you know that you're not alone in your work.
Perfect.
So,
I just put my email in the chat. I'm just going to
oh,
add to
okay.
that. And learning
Thank
from
you.
each other. The camaraderie is just
Yes.
cool for me. But I'm happy if
Absolutely.
anyone has any additional questions from a member, I'm so happy to answer them for you, and we can just schedule a time to meet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining, and I hope to see your applications soon if I haven't already seen them.
Thank you.
Bye.
Can you stay on for